That's gonna thicken up. And this has not been rinsed because we're gonna drain and fill anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we wanna cover this up as good as we can. And people ask me all the time, like, what do you do about siphoning? Because people are used to siphoning way down into the substrate. With a soil tank, dirty tank, you don't want to do that. You want to just go right on the surface and get the stuff that's on the top. And this stuff you can just tell is going to make a water column mess. But we're going to drain and fill until it's clear, really. So I say 5 times, but you know, if you need to do more than that, do more than that. Simple rule with this: be a 50-pound bag. For a 125, you'd want to use 3 of them. I'm going to use slightly less just because I don't have them handy, but we'll still get the most of this handled out here. And we're also going to use some oregonite in there to thicken it up. Now see how it's kind of coming over the top there? That's a little too much water. Not a huge deal. It'll all settle in. And the plants filter it too, by the way. I wouldn't recommend running your filters early on with this. I would just do water changes. At some point you're going to have a spot where the cap leaks and the soil comes through. It's inevitable. Keep extra substrate around and handy to stop the volcano of dirt that will inevitably pop up through your substrate at some point. And you hear that humming sound in the background. Nick just kicked on the dirt sifter that we have in house because I just robbed him of all the dirt he had been working on. And the trick to filling this here in a little bit is we're going to use a hose. We're going to barely have it on and slowly fill it, or you can tie a towel around the end of it. And I like to set like either on a plate or on a bag or a piece of cardboard or something so that it doesn't disrupt this whole cap. The other thing I'm mildly worried about with this is that because of this as being a newly dirted setup, and the valve that I have has been established and rolling in a setup, I'm mildly concerned that it might melt a little bit, but we won't know until we do it. Although it's a pretty solid crop, I'll try to use all the same water or close to it from the existing setup. But again, this is the paver sand. People can use pool filter sand as well. It doesn't look as natural as this. It's still good, but for me, pool filter sand, which I've used for years, it just doesn't quite look that great when the soil gets on top of it inevitably. So you want to use darker colors, browns, black, whatever. Black I think would be ideal, but for this application, and I pulled Jungle Val out of Lake Erie, it prefers the more sandy substrate. Like you roll out to the Sandusky Bay where your boy's from and you reach your hand in the mud, it looks like this at the bottom of the lake. So, well, at least where I used to hang out anyway. So last bag, plenty of substrate. Here I thought I was out of it. Didn't even have to run to the store. Get that over there. Now, because I did not rinse this, and because I have a greenhouse where I can just dump the water onto the floor, unlike most of you watching this, I can do water changes easily. But that's about freaking perfect right there. That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Also, with the substrate, you want to do a little channel. I forgot to do that up front. You want to do a little channel up here. I missed a step here where you scoop away and you don't have any dirt at the front of the tank. That'll give you a little cleaner edge in front. I forgot to do that, but I can still get a little spot there. This would be a good example of that because you can see the soil, it's not too sightly, so kind of push that down and keep a channel off. And it can be modified as we go. And so what I'm gonna do for the sake of the plants is I'm gonna slowly fill this up and then I'm going to drain it. And then I'm going to slowly fill it up again and it's gonna look like heck. And then on the 3rd or 4th, depending upon how it's looking, I'm going to start adding my Vallisneria. And one mistake that I did make that I should have done and I said I should do is have a spare substrate around. I do not have any spare substrate. So when I put the plants in, I'm not going to have much to actually bury them with other than the existing. It's always nice when you do the burying of the plants to have extra substrate around. I don't have that, but we'll make do because I got a nice layer on top here.